What if I told you that you could completely change your life in just 1 week? What if you could break free from the anxiety that's been holding you back? What if in just 7 days you could reclaim your time, focus your mind, and finally experience a deep sense of inner peace? Does that sound too good to be true? Let me tell you, it's not. I know you're probably thinking, how can something so profound happen so quickly? But trust me, I'm not talking about magic pills or overnight fixes. I'm talking about simple, practical habits. Habits that have been practiced for thousands of years, rooted in ancient wisdom and backed by modern science. Over the next few minutes, I'm going to share with you 5 powerful habits that completely transformed my life in just 1 week. And I believe they can do the same for you. These habits are not just theoretical concepts. They are actionable steps that will help you regain control of your time, reduce stress, and improve your overall health and well-being. But before we dive into these life-changing habits, let me ask you something. How many of you are feeling overwhelmed, stuck, or just exhausted from trying to juggle it all? I know that feeling. Drop a comment below if you're struggling with stress or lack of focus. I want to hear from you. Now, before we get into the habits themselves, let's take a quick moment to understand how a simple shift in perspective can change everything. And to do that, we'll draw from the timeless wisdom of Buddhism. Habit 1. Unlock your day with peace. The power of waking up early. What if the first decision you make every day could change the rest of your life? Imagine starting your day with complete clarity, not rushing through it, but with intention and peace. What if the key to transforming your life was simply waking up early? Waking up early might seem like a trivial habit, something we've all heard about in self-help articles or motivational speeches. But the truth is, this habit is not just about productivity. It's a gateway to something far deeper. In Buddhist philosophy, the early morning hours are seen as sacred. It's a time before the world awakens, before the noise and chaos of the day disrupt our minds. The stillness of these early hours holds a deep potential for mindfulness, reflection, and clarity. When you wake up early, you are gifted with a precious space where you can center yourself before the demands of the day take over. This is the moment to meditate, to reflect on your thoughts, to set your intentions for the day, and to simply be present. In the Buddhist tradition, mindfulness is cultivated in these quiet moments. It's the practice of being fully aware of the present, free from the distractions that constantly pull us in different directions. There's a scientific reason behind the power of waking up early as well. Our body runs on a natural rhythm known as the circadian cycle. When we wake up early, we align ourselves with this rhythm, which can lead to improved mental clarity, increased energy, and better productivity throughout the day. Studies show that waking up early reduces stress and helps reset our internal clock, making it easier to focus and be productive without feeling overwhelmed. Psychologically, waking up early helps reduce anxiety. How? By allowing you to take control of your day before it's hijacked by external distractions. When you wake up earlier, you're not immediately pulled into a whirlwind of emails, notifications, or the pressures of your to-do list. Instead, you're in control. You're creating your day, not reacting to it. The simple act of waking up with intention sets a tone of calm and discipline that ripples through the rest of your day. I used to be a night owl, dreading mornings and hitting the snooze button several times. Each morning I would wake up feeling rushed, like I was already behind, and my day would feel chaotic from the start. I lived in reaction mode, constantly trying to catch up, never feeling like I had enough time. But one day I decided to change that. I started waking up at 5 a.m. This was a challenge at first. The first few days felt grueling. I was tired, groggy, and tempted to return to my old habits. But I pushed through, and by the third day, something shifted. I began to notice the stillness in the air, the quiet of the world before it stirred. I started to appreciate these moments of peace, where there was no rush, no noise, and no distractions. In these early hours, I had time to meditate and reflect on what I wanted from the day. I set my intentions, I moved my body, and most importantly, I gave myself the space to just breathe. These simple practices gave me a sense of calm and clarity I had never experienced before. Over time, this small change in my routine became a cornerstone of my daily life. I wasn't just waking up to get things done, I was waking up to find peace and clarity within myself. This habit became a foundation for everything else I did throughout the day. Tomorrow, try setting your alarm just 15 minutes earlier. Notice how it feels. You don't need to make drastic changes overnight. Just a small shift can make a big difference. Here's the surprising part. Waking up early doesn't just benefit your productivity, it also nourishes your mental health. By giving yourself the time to ground yourself in the morning, you begin to cultivate a sense of inner peace that stays with you throughout the day. This peace acts like a shield, protecting you from the stresses and distractions that come your way. As you build this habit, you'll notice that you're not just getting more done, you're also feeling more centered, more aligned with who you truly are. You might be wondering, but what about the sacrifices? What if I'm too tired? Trust me, I've been there. The key is not about being perfect, it's about consistency. The more you wake up early, the easier it gets, and the more your body adjusts. And here's the interesting part. The more you practice waking up early, the more your body will crave it. It becomes a natural part of who you are. The idea of waking up early is in line with the psychological principle of self-discipline. It's not just about setting an alarm clock earlier. It's about taking control of your day before external forces do. This simple act of discipline can help reduce feelings of helplessness and improve your overall mindset. It's a form of self-care, a commitment to your well-being that you choose each morning. Now let's look at this from the perspective of the law of attraction. The energy you put into the start of your day directly influences what you attract into your life. If you wake up stressed and rushed, you're likely to attract more stress and chaos. But if you wake up calm, centered, and with a sense of purpose, you begin to align yourself with the energy of peace and flow. The early morning is your time to set the energy for the rest of the day, shaping how the universe responds to you. But waking up early is just the beginning. There's another habit that I resisted for a long time, but once I embraced it, it completely transformed my life. Let me share it with you. Habit 2, the power of 20 minutes. How daily movement transforms your mind and body. What if I told you that moving your body for just 20 minutes a day could change how you feel mentally and emotionally? Exercise is often viewed through the lens of physical health, but its impact stretches far beyond just the body. Imagine this. Every time you exercise, you're not only working on your body, but also on your mind and spirit. Yes, exercise is a form of moving meditation where your mind and body synchronize, helping you become more centered and present. It's much more than sweating it out. It's about bringing your inner self into harmony with the world around you. In Buddhist teachings, the body is often seen as a sacred vessel. It's not just a physical object, but an essential part of our spiritual journey. When we take care of our body through exercise, we're also cultivating mindfulness. By moving, we reconnect with the present moment, letting go of distractions and bringing our awareness back to our physical experience. This act of moving our body with intention can be seen as a form of meditation in motion, where each breath, each step, is a mindful practice in itself. Many Buddhist monks and practitioners emphasize walking meditation as a way to achieve clarity and peace. Imagine if, instead of seeing exercise as a chore, you began to see it as a mindful practice, a way to nurture both your body and spirit. It's in these small daily actions that we cultivate resilience and balance. Now let's look at the science behind it. Research shows that exercise has profound effects on our mental and emotional well-being. Physical activity increases the release of endorphins, the body's natural mood boosters. Endorphins are not just about making you feel good, they help reduce feelings of anxiety and depression. You see, just 20 minutes of moderate exercise a day can elevate your mood and calm your mind. This isn't just theory. Studies have found that for some individuals, 20 minutes of exercise can be just as effective as prescription medications for treating mild to moderate depression. The body is built to thrive through movement, and by simply moving, we activate healing within ourselves. But the benefits of exercise go beyond the physical and chemical. From a psychological perspective, exercise is a powerful tool for building mental strength. Think about it. Exercise challenges you to push past your limits, to endure discomfort, and to keep going even when you feel like quitting. This is exactly what life asks of us too. It teaches resilience. We face stressors daily, but when we build mental toughness through exercise, we are better equipped to deal with life's challenges. It's a way of training the mind to accept discomfort and transform it into growth. Imagine starting each day with a 20-minute workout where you're not just getting stronger physically, but also mentally. You'll find that this strength translates into your ability to handle stress, manage emotions, and overcome difficulties. Let me share something personal. When I first began exercising regularly, I resisted it. It felt like a chore, like something I had to do instead of something I wanted to do. But one day I decided to go for a jog, just a simple, short one. And as I ran, I felt the wind against my skin, my heartbeat in my chest, and for the first time, I realized something. It wasn't about the fitness, it was about reconnecting with myself, the rhythm of my breath, the motion of my body. It all felt like a deep conversation between my mind and body. That simple jog transformed how I viewed exercise. It wasn't just about the body, it was about inner peace. I know that many of you may feel overwhelmed, tired, or even burned out. Life is demanding, and it can feel like there's no time for exercise. But what if I told you that by committing to just 20 minutes of exercise each day, you could reclaim that lost energy, reduce stress, and boost your mental clarity? It may feel like a small effort, but it can create a huge shift in how you experience the world. Starting with something simple, a jog, a walk, a stretch session, can be your first step towards a more balanced and energetic life. And here's a secret. The benefits don't stop after you finish. You carry the energy, the clarity, and the strength of that 20 minutes into the rest of your day. Now here's the thing. What happens if you don't make time for these 20 minutes? If you keep putting it off, you're not just missing out on physical health, you're missing out on mental and emotional resilience. Think about it. How often do you feel mentally drained or overwhelmed by the demands of daily life? Exercise is a powerful way to combat that. By not prioritizing it, you're letting your mind and spirit miss out on a tool that can help you handle stress, become more mindful, and reclaim your energy. So, what do you choose today? Will you choose the path of resistance, or will you give yourself the gift of a few minutes of movement each day? Start small. Don't think you need to run a marathon. Just take that first step, and soon enough you'll notice the changes not just in your body, but in your mind and spirit as well. After all, it's not just about moving your body, it's about moving your life in a new direction. Habit 3. Write your way to clarity. The transformative power of journaling. What if I told you that journaling could help you unlock the answers to your deepest questions? That a simple pen and paper change the way you see your life? Journaling is often thought of as a personal habit, something people do when they're feeling inspired or need to vent. But the truth is, journaling is one of the most powerful tools you can use for self-reflection, emotional healing, and self-discovery. It offers us a safe space to pour out our thoughts, explore our feelings, and uncover the wisdom that resides within us. Writing allows us to take the chaotic mess of our minds and transform it into clarity, one word at a time. But beyond its therapeutic benefits, journaling offers something even deeper, the chance to build a deeper connection with ourselves. In the hustle of daily life, we often lose touch with who we are and what we truly need. Journaling helps us reconnect with that inner voice, guiding us toward greater understanding and mindfulness. In Buddhism, mindfulness is the practice of observing your thoughts without judgment. We don't try to push away negative emotions or thoughts, but rather observe them with clarity and awareness. This practice allows us to detach from the emotional charge they carry. And here's where journaling fits perfectly. When we write, we create a space to observe our thoughts and feelings from a safe distance. Instead of being swallowed by our fears or frustrations, we can observe them, understand them, and let them pass. It's as if you're meditating with your pen, watching the ebb and flow of your thoughts without attaching to them. This practice brings the same mental clarity and peace as meditation, but through the act of writing. Journaling offers us the opportunity to engage with our emotions from a place of mindfulness, helping us cultivate a sense of balance and inner peace. Each time you write, you're practicing the Buddhist principle of non-attachment, learning to let go of emotions that no longer serve you, and making space for deeper wisdom. Now let's talk about the science behind journaling. Studies have shown that journaling reduces stress, improves memory, and increases emotional intelligence. But the real magic happens when you write about your emotions. Writing helps process feelings that might otherwise stay bottled up, providing a release that helps to alleviate stress. Research shows that journaling for just 15 to 20 minutes a day can lower cortisol levels, the stress hormone, and enhance overall emotional well-being. When we write about what's troubling us, we create a sense of control. Our thoughts and emotions can feel overwhelming, but when we put them on paper, they become tangible. We see them clearly, and that clarity gives us a sense of power. It's like shining a light on the darkness, dispelling the fear of the unknown. From a psychological standpoint, journaling helps the brain organize and make sense of emotions. When you're dealing with stress, confusion, or frustration, your thoughts can feel like a tangled mess. But when you write, you start to untangle those thoughts, finding patterns and connections that might not have been immediately obvious. It's like decluttering a room full of thoughts. When you clear out the mental clutter, there's more space for clarity, insight, and creativity. The act of writing also promotes problem solving. It's a way of mapping out your emotional landscape, helping you understand the root causes of your feelings and finding practical ways to navigate them. By externalizing your thoughts through writing, you gain the mental clarity needed to make better decisions and gain a fresh perspective on life's challenges. The process itself can be incredibly healing, providing not only emotional release, but also mental organization. I remember a time in my life when I was overwhelmed by stress and confusion. I was going through a period of uncertainty, and every day felt like a blur. At that time, a friend suggested I try journaling to process my emotions. I was skeptical at first. What could writing down my thoughts do for me? But I decided to give it a try. I started writing down everything on my mind, my frustrations, my worries, my hopes. The first few entries were messy, chaotic, and full of anxiety. But then something amazing happened. As I wrote, I started to see patterns in my thoughts. I realized that many of my worries were out of my control. Just acknowledging that brought a sense of calm I hadn't felt in weeks. By putting my thoughts on paper, I didn't just vent. I gained insight. I started to understand that my worries weren't as important as I thought, and that realization alone brought me peace. Writing didn't just clear my head. It gave me the clarity I needed to make better decisions and approach life with a more balanced perspective. If you're feeling stuck or overwhelmed, I want you to know that journaling offers a space to untangle those emotions and thoughts. It's not about having the right words. It's about being honest with yourself without judgment. In the process, you'll start to understand yourself better, and that's the first step in moving forward. Many of us are afraid to face our emotions, but journaling creates a safe, non-judgmental space where we can process and release them. If you've never tried it, consider starting tonight. Write down 3 things that are on your mind, no matter how big or small. It doesn't matter if they're worries or dreams, just write. You'll be surprised at how much lighter you feel afterward and how much clearer your mind will be when you wake up. So if you've never tried journaling, I encourage you to start tonight. Take a few minutes before bed to write down just 3 things that are on your mind. Whether they're worries, thoughts, or simply how your day went, just get them on paper. It will help you sleep better and clear your head for the day ahead. Now that we've explored how journaling can clear the mind and offer emotional release, let's move on to another important aspect of mindful living: how we nourish our bodies through food. Habit 4. Mindful eating. How often do you truly taste your food? Have you ever paused to notice the flavors, the textures, or even the sensations your body experiences while eating? Mindful eating isn't just about health, it's about a deeper connection to your body and the world around you. A few years ago, I was just like many of you, eating on the go, grabbing bites between tasks, not savoring my food. I was too busy, too distracted, and I didn't even realize what I was missing. But one day I decided to make a change. I took a step back and simply sat down with my meal. No phone, no TV, just me and my food. What happened next was eye-opening. As I slowed down, I noticed the simple pleasure of each bite. The crunch of fresh vegetables, the warmth of the soup, the subtle sweetness of the fruit. Suddenly, eating wasn't just about filling my stomach. It became a moment of mindfulness, of connection to my body. It was no longer something to rush through, but something to savor. That was the beginning of my mindful eating journey. It wasn't just a shift in how I ate. It was a shift in how I viewed food, my body, and even myself. Mindful eating is more than just paying attention to food. It's about bringing your full awareness to the present moment. It's about noticing the act of eating itself, engaging your senses fully with every bite, and learning to listen to your body's needs. Often we eat while distracted, on the go, in front of the TV, or while scrolling through our phones. But by taking the time to eat mindfully, we create a deeper connection with the food that nourishes us. This practice doesn't just improve digestion or help us eat more slowly, it changes the way we view our relationship with food. Every meal becomes an opportunity to reconnect with ourselves, to express gratitude for the nourishment we're receiving, and to appreciate the experience of eating. In Buddhism, mindfulness is key to understanding and transforming our daily experiences. Eating, as mundane as it might seem, is one of the most powerful opportunities to practice mindfulness. Buddhist teachings emphasize the importance of mindful consumption. Just as we are taught to observe our thoughts and feelings without attachment, we can do the same with our food. Every bite is an invitation to be fully present, to notice the sensations in the body, and to honor the food as a gift that sustains us. The act of eating mindfully is also a way to cultivate gratitude. By slowing down and paying attention, we recognize the effort that goes into bringing food to our table, the farmers, the cooks, and the natural processes. This awareness fosters a deeper appreciation for the food and, in turn, for our body that receives it. Mindful eating is also deeply psychological. For many of us, food is not just about nourishment. It's an emotional experience. We often eat when we're stressed, bored, or seeking comfort. This can lead to overeating or eating without truly feeling satisfied. Mindful eating helps break this cycle by allowing us to check in with our emotions before we eat. By being present, we can ask ourselves, am I hungry or am I eating because of an emotional need? This question can help us make healthier choices, guiding us to eat when we need nourishment, not out of habit or emotional discomfort. The beauty of mindful eating is that it helps foster emotional awareness and control over our cravings. We begin to recognize patterns and triggers in our eating habits, empowering us to make conscious, thoughtful decisions about what we consume. Research supports the benefits of mindful eating in numerous ways. Studies show that it can help reduce overeating by increasing awareness of hunger and satiety cues. When we eat mindfully, we are more likely to stop eating when we're full, rather than continuing out of habit. This can be a powerful tool in managing weight and improving digestion. Mindful eating also has physiological benefits. When we eat slowly and focus on our food, our digestive system works more efficiently. It allows our body to break down food properly, leading to better nutrient absorption and less bloating or discomfort. Additionally, mindful eating can reduce stress and promote relaxation by helping us focus on the present moment, rather than getting caught up in the busyness of life. Another important element of mindful eating is gratitude. As we eat, we can pause and recognize the effort that went into the food we're consuming. Gratitude shifts our focus from a sense of scarcity to one of abundance. It's not just about the food itself, but the process that brought it to us. Incorporating gratitude into every meal can create a profound sense of appreciation for what we have. It allows us to feel connected to the earth, to the people who grew our food, and to our bodies which are being nourished by it. This practice not only enhances our experience of eating, but also cultivates a more positive and balanced mindset toward food. Here's a simple challenge. Tomorrow, try eating one meal without any distractions. Put away your phone, turn off the TV, and just focus on the food. Take your time with each bite, savoring the flavors, the textures, and the feeling of nourishment. Notice how it feels to be fully present with your meal. I promise you'll experience a deeper satisfaction and connection with your body than you might expect. Now that we've explored how mindful eating can transform your relationship with food, let's move on to the next habit that will help you create more balance in your life. Limiting screen time. Habit 5, digital detox for the soul. What if the peace you're searching for is hiding in the silence between your notifications? Have you ever noticed how your fingers reach for your phone even when there's no real reason to? Like a reflex, like a ritual. That unconscious pull, that craving for distraction, might seem harmless, but over time it chips away at something deeper. Your ability to be still, to connect, to simply be. Being present is the new luxury. We live in a world where attention is currency, and every scroll sells a piece of your peace. From a Buddhist lens, this is classic attachment. Our mind clinging to stimulation, noise, validation. Zen teaches that true freedom lies in non-attachment, not just from things, but from the need to always know, react, or keep up. When we detach from the screen, even briefly, we reconnect with the silence that nurtures clarity and peace. And here's the twist. Your phone doesn't just steal time, it drains life force. According to neuroscience, constant screen exposure fragments your attention span, disrupts dopamine regulation, and impacts deep rest cycles. That's not just science, it's karma in motion. Every digital choice ripples into your health, your thoughts, and your relationships. Your brain is starving for stillness. A 2023 study from Stanford showed that limiting screen time to under 2 hours a day significantly boosted mental clarity and emotional stability. When your mind isn't constantly bombarded by inputs, it begins to naturally process, reflect, and release mental clutter. Psychologically, we use screens to avoid discomfort, to numb ourselves, to escape. But avoidance only feeds anxiety. Ironically, the more we scroll for comfort, the more disconnected we feel. Digital comfort is a lie wrapped in dopamine. When we step back, we regain control over what we feed our minds. The law of attraction starts with what you consume. Here's something I learned the hard way. You can't manifest clarity while drowning in chaos. The law of attraction responds not to your words, but to your vibration. And every image, video, and voice you consume carries frequency. Low-frequency content, gossip, outrage, comparison, pollutes your field. No amount of affirmations can clean that up unless you start with boundaries. When I began limiting my screen time to 2 intentional blocks a day, something unexpected happened. I felt lighter. I started attracting more meaningful conversations, more peace, and more serendipities. It's as if the universe finally had a channel to reach me once I stopped tuning into everyone else's. You don't need more time, you need fewer distractions. Years ago, I was the type of person who brought my phone into the bathroom, checked emails while brushing my teeth, and scrolled myself to sleep. I told myself I was being efficient, but deep down I was running from boredom, from my thoughts, from myself. The real change came one weekend when I went on a silent retreat. No phone, no screens, no input. The first day felt like withdrawal, but by day 3, I started noticing things I hadn't felt in years. The warmth of sunlight, the rhythm of my breath, the sound of birds I usually drowned out with podcasts. That weekend changed my relationship with technology forever. Now I live by one rule. Technology should serve your soul, not steal it. Here's your moment of choice. You can fear missing out on someone's Instagram story, or you can start embracing the joy of missing out. Because in that space of stillness, creativity is born, insight emerges, and life slows down just enough for you to feel it fully. Let's be honest, no one's last 3 hours of scrolling changed their life. But stepping outside, journaling, or simply sitting with your thoughts just might. Every notification is a choice between distraction and direction. We often think discipline is about doing more, but true discipline is about choosing less, but with intention. You don't need to go off-grid. Start small, set screen-free zones, no phones during meals, 1 hour before bed, or the first 30 minutes after waking. This is not digital minimalism, it's digital mindfulness, a conscious reorientation of your energy back to what truly matters. Today, try this. Set a 30-minute screen break, go for a walk, sit in silence, call someone, breathe, see what arises when the noise fades. You might be surprised by what returns: clarity, inspiration, even joy. Now imagine what your life could look like when all these habits align, when each day becomes a conscious act of care, intention, and clarity. In just 1 week, these small steps can create seismic shifts. And in the final part of this journey, I want to leave you with one powerful message. Sometimes the most profound transformations begin with the smallest shifts. Waking up early, moving your body, journaling your thoughts, eating with intention, and reclaiming your attention from screens. Each habit is a quiet revolution. Practiced together, they become a path back to your center. Zen teaches us that true change doesn't come from striving, it comes from returning to simplicity, to awareness, to the breath. And that's what these habits do. They return you to you. Science shows that consistency, not intensity, creates lasting change. Psychology reminds us that identity is shaped by what we do daily. And the law of attraction? It responds to your frequency, which is lifted every time you make a conscious, loving choice. So which habit will you begin with? Don't wait for the perfect moment. Choose one. Practice it for a week. Then watch what unfolds, not just outside but within. If this video sparks something in you, like it, share it, subscribe, and drop a comment. Which habit will you start with? Remember, you don't need to be perfect. Just present. One breath, one choice, one day at a time.